Hey, good evening, friends, Romans, countrymen. Lend me your ear. Just kidding. Okay, what is it? Monday. And, I got to turn on my light. That means D&D, and we are playing some 5th edition in the Forgotten Realms. Hey, Cubity, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Whew, light's working. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna do it really, really soon. So my name is Scott. Known here professionally on the internets as Wily Hobbit. And I'm thrilled that everybody's joined us. So let's go around. If you notice something rather striking and perhaps even perplexing, maybe even odd, we have 6 windows full of beauty tonight. And Dave. Just kidding, buddy. We have a totally... Yes, he does. Totally full slate of player character awesomeness, and I am so freaking jacked. Finally. Yeah. So, let's meet them, shall we? And we're going to do the ladies' first routine, because if we are nothing here, we are gentle hobbits. All right? So, let's start with our newest addition to the party. Wisteria, tell us a little bit about your character.
Hi, yes, I play Wisteria, and she is a Hexblood Circle of Spores druid. She is, still figuring out the party and what, kind of what they're all about, but she is very excited to be trying to help people out. So,
Woo.
yeah.
Helping is good. We like helping. Awesome. Very good. Ronvin.
Hey, I'm Vivi, and I play Runvin. She is an artificer, and the Dalelands are her home, and she's slowly growing out of her little naive, kind of never been anywhere role. She still hasn't quite wrapped her mind around that she is not really human. So this is still kind of interesting. She was still hoping that the wizard was screwing with her with the wings, but no, they're kind of part of her now. When she gets too excited during battle.
Little girl all grown up. That's very nice. Very exciting. All right, let's meet Viz.
Hey folks, I'm Dave. Hey Wilson on the internet. I'm playing Viz, the fairy rune knight fighter.
Excellent. All right. And then we'll go over here to the opposite corner and we will meet our other newest member, Rance.
Hi, I'm Matt. I play Rance Rumblood, the ex-pirate without a crew on the run from the Zentarine, who likes rum quite a bit.
It's possible that his blood may be a percentage rum.
True story.
It's entirely possible.
He has to make a constitution save if his blood does not have rum.
Right. Yeah, if it drops below a certain blood alcohol level, he's got to make a con save. And I guess we'll risk it. We'll go ahead and introduce Rue and see what happens. Go ahead there, buddy.
Everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables, and I play Rue Shahar, the changeling rogue, who is quite anxious about recent events.
Very nice. There you have it. Did I hear there's 2 changelings in the party? Did I hear that while we were going through the...
Where?
Sure.
I see you, Preston. I see what you're doing down there in the corner. Yeah.
No.
What? All right. Well, looks like Ronvin has a fan who keeps coming back and giving her advantage. It's Mr. Ronvin, isn't it? Yeah, I'm still fiddling around with the camera. Sorry. So thanks for that, Foxfire and Dice Fix. Preston, thank you for the DM advantage. Very, very nice. The party currently has 34 plus 2s, meaning they can add a +2 to any D20 roll, say except for death saves, because that would just be wrong. And the DM has 11 advantages. Let's do a quick. Does anybody have a tally? Let's go around the horn. Who has how many advantages? Let's just go around. Wisteria, do you have any advantages? Aw. New people. Rance, you don't have an advantage? Aw. Aw. Rue, do you have any advantages?
I've got 3 advantages.
3. That's certainly nothing like the 11 I have, but yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Ronvin, do you have any advantages?
I was supposed to keep track of that?
Well, I'm not keeping track of them.
Yeah, I totally wasn't.
Well, I know you've got at least one, and I know you got at least one from last week.
So basically, every time my husband's present, I got one.
I'd say that's a fair assessment. Yeah. Viz, how many have you got floating along?
I think 2. I hardly ever use them. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I know at least one.
Good deal. Well, we'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight.
I have 6.
You have 6? Oh, did I not ask you? I'm sorry,
So.
Fitz. Jeez. Swing and a miss. The starting
Yeah,
grid. Somebody's getting an
I've been keeping
advantage.
them.
Ronvin just got another advantage. Nice.
If it helps anyone, I've actually been checking them on my character sheet under the notes tab. I just wrote it in the other section in there.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, there's a notes tab on there.
Oop. Cubity
Yeah.
just hit Rance with an advantage. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Yeah, so thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to play some 5th edition D&D. Enough goofing around. Let me give you a quick recap as to our current state of affairs. Last week, the party returned from underground having discovered a situation beneath Dagger Falls. Some salt devils had apparently made a deal with a couple of folks from the Black Network, the Zentarim, which you can see there on the stream. We still have that dark and twisted, scary insignia displayed. And so the party came up from the tunnels beneath Dagger Falls, having discovered all of this. They got some treasure, they got some magic items. They also confiscated a crate of salt that apparently these salt devils were trading with the Zentarim for weapons, and the Zentarim were also supplying slave labor to these devils. And there were also some Darrow down below there. So apparently there's maybe some sort of a link or a connection to the Underdark. Who knew that tunnels underground might have some place where they connect to the... Yeah, dun dun dun. Shocker. Yeah, so they came back up top, and hey, thanks for that sub. Appreciate that very much. Mr. Preston, Dice Fix. Very nice, thank you. And they debriefed the Constable Zal as to the details of the arrangement. They even found a contract that spelled out the deal between the Devils and the Black Network. So it seems that there was kind of a slave trafficking, weapons for salt deal going on beneath the very streets of Dagger Falls without anyone's knowledge or understanding. And so Zal and the party had a bit of a discussion about next steps. Zal has suggested they might consider staking out the east-west trade road and seeing if they can investigate and look into some banditry that's been happening. Some of the caravans have been waylaid. There are some missing Dagger Falls militia escorts. There's missing stuff. There's been some issues on the east-west trade road. And there's a rather important caravan coming from the east that has some things in it that are important to Lord Cormeril that the Lord would very much like to see arrive safely in Dagger Falls in a few days hence. But there's also some concern about one of the local proprietors, one Asha Tanner. She's the owner of the Winding Trail, which is a gear outfitter. They fit caravans and drovers and adventurers and mountaineers and things with supplies of all sorts. And there's some suspicion based on Rance's recent experience as a teamster there that the owner may have some sort of dealings with these Zentarim. So the party has much to consider, in addition to having just connected with two people about whom they know very little. And so we're going to open our scene with the party leaving the constabulary on a pretty windy, cold, rainy, late summer afternoon. And that's where we will begin. You step outside the constable's complex, if you will, with your items in hand. I believe you have a chest with you, if I'm not mistaken, that has some treasure and such in it. What would you like to do, folks? It's raining steadily, albeit not pouring downpour, but it's wet and it's very windy and unseasonably cold. The stone and dirt streets of Dagger Falls have begun to turn to a lot of standing water and some mud as people scurry indoors as the rain develops.
How far are we away from the Mint Tavern? Would that be a good place for us, or the Mint Inn, for us to recuperate, have some drinks, and talk about what we should be doing next?
The Teshford.
Yeah, so I put the map up on stream. The party is in here just south of this walled area. The Teshford Arms is over here across the river.
Yeah.
So it would be a 10-minute walk in the rain, give or take.
Yeah,
I'll get
Runman
the
is
map up
definitely.
in Discord as well. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Runman is definitely gonna offer that as an option. Like, no, we have a whole bunch of decisions to make. Maybe we should go somewhere comfortable. I would love some mint tea. It is the weather for mint tea right now. I mean, it should take us 10 minutes to get there, right? We're not made of the sugar.
Yeah, we could go sit down for a few hours. That would be a good idea.
No. I mean, that's where part of us are still staying, right? Because now that we're
Yeah, I
out.
think the entire party, which
Yeah,
is
because-
really Rue and you, have been staying in the Teshford. Viz hasn't been around long enough to need a place to stay. Neither has Fix, and very obviously neither have Wisteria and Rance.
So, yep. Since the people who were staying at the other inns are not with us no more. All happily went on their own ways. So yeah, let's go to the Tash Fort and let's settle down with some cupcakes and some mint tea and figure this out.
Yes, you told me that those cupcakes are really good, so I definitely need to try them.
Yes, we do. They're very good. Very good. Ask for very good.
Okay, players, the map of Dagger Falls is finally in Discord, sorry.
Yay.
You're along the south wall of the inner walled areas, departing the constabulary. So you would head east through town, out the east gate, across the river to what is marked as number 7, which is the Teshford Arms. It sits on a hill, and beneath it, down toward the river, is a beautiful and fragrant field of mint. And then behind it and to either side of it, across the road and beside it, are pretty thick woods.
So off we go. Actually, I think it's marked as 1 on the map, Scott.
Oh, is it?
To contradict.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
7.
look at it on the stream.
7 is in town.
Yes, it's 1. My apologies.
That's okay.
I was looking at the micro-sized version of the map.
1 and 7 are basically the same digit.
They're the same digit. Thank you, Preston, for that.
That's why
I got you,
the
Ray.
Europeans put a little mark on it, and I had to train that out of myself.
You see,
Same
they
as
know
the
what
hook
they're
on the
doing.
what? We put a hook on the top of the 1, and we put a little cross mark on the 7 so you could keep them apart. And then it told me that was too German. The Americans don't understand that.
Oh, that's what I do.
Nobody knows what I'm writing.
That's how I do my 7s. With the little...
Yep. And the ones have a hook on top. But I had to train that out of myself.
All right. To the Teshford.
Okay. So, hey, Mateus, you just scored an advantage from Kelstaff. So mark your sheet accordingly, however you wish to do so. Thanks, Kelstaff, for that. Supporting our players. You just never know when they might need advantage. Certainly from no threat from the Dungeon Master's dice, but... Okay, so you make your way through town, and there's not a lot of people out. It's early afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock. You had a quick bite with Zal, but it was mostly coffee and talking, that sort of thing. And so you may find yourself actually kind of hungry. But you make your way through town. The market is, all the tents and that are up, but it's a wet mess, as it is known to become when it rains steadily. There's not a lot of people out, and so you make your way through, passing a couple of pairs of Dagger Falls deputy constables on watch. Rue and Ronvin, they recognize you straight away and nod and smile. Most of them you've seen with your interactions and your time here in Dagger Falls. They don't really recognize the rest of the group. Gosh, there's been like as many as 10 different people in this party, haven't there? Yeah. Because Gears is gone, and Al's gone, and Fragili's gone, and Paige's character, whose name just left my brain, is gone.
Calavera.
Thank you. Calavera's gone. Goodness, how rude. Yeah, so the company, the Iron Phoenix, continues to morph and shift. And so you make your way through town, out the east gate. Not a lot of traffic on the road. There's a few horses in front of the Sturdy Scabbard Leather Works, which is right there in the confluence of the east-west trade road and the little lane that goes into the walls of Dagger Falls proper, and the road that crosses the bridge over the river. There's a few horses tied in front of the winding trail that you see east of there. And it's cold, and the wind seems to just cut right through you, blowing the rain almost sideways as you make your way over the bridge, up the hill, and quickly... Are you mounted or walking? Oh, you are all on foot. Sorry,
Yes,
I got my
I
games
think we're all on
confused.
foot, yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, you're on foot, making your way up.
Should I be mounted?
And no, y'all are on foot because you just came from the dungeon below.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so you find yourselves kind of shaking the rain off on the sweeping front porch that is on the north face of the beautiful two-story. It's a stone and timber frame, stately-looking inn. It's in nice condition, albeit not fancy. Somewhat rustic, but clean and nice. A lot of windows facing the front. The porch is deep enough that you could, if the wind weren't blowing, you could sit on the porch in one of the many chairs and table arrangements and not get wet from the rain. It's probably about a 10-foot deep porch, but with the wind and everything, the porch is empty. Which normally, if it's a decent day, there are always people on the porch, sitting, looking out over the mint fields, listening to the roar of Dagger Falls upstream to the west, and enjoying the another DM advantage. It's like Christmas up in here. Thank you very much. Wow, very
What are you
nice.
doing, man?
Yeah, good deal. And so you enter, and the tap room and dining room, as you walk in, the tap room is kind of off to your left. There's sort of an open area, almost like if you've ever been to like a Cracker Barrel restaurant where they have the store. There's a few things, mostly various 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dude, nice.
That doesn't buy you favor.
Wisteria, do you have any advantages? Still no?
I have one now.
Oh.
I have one.
Okay, so Preston, I know it's killing you right now. If you want to give Wisteria an advantage, I will.
Yeah, she could have. I guess she can have one.
She could take one of mine. I have
One.
plenty.
Only one.
So, well, I mean, let's not get out of hand here. So let's see. That's 4 more, 17. Okay, and then Wisteria, you just, from the benevolence of your fellow player and your dungeon master, you now have two advantages. I mean, we want you to live a couple episodes before, So at any rate, you step in, and there's a few like freestanding kind of arts and crafts style sort of little shelving units that have bundles of like mint tea and a few racks of with some baked goods on them. little items of that type of stuff, little crafts and things that look to be handmade local. It's just a kind of a little area as you come in, and then to your right you can see kind of the large dining room with tables and no bar, with some windows that face over the porch and out to the west into the forest. And there's a kind of a double door at the back of the dining room. To the left is the tap room, which takes up the whole other part of the northern side of the front of the house there. The Teshford is probably a good, golly, front to back, 20, 35, 45, 55, 60, 75 feet deep, and probably a good 150 to 180 wide. It's a big building. And it's split, maybe a third of that is the dining room, so maybe about 60 feet is the dining room, and then the rest of it's all tap room. There's a small crowd in the tap room, maybe 25%. After all, it's a work day during working hours, and so there's a couple of older locals there, maybe for lunch, that sort of thing. You see Oliver Sardun talking with some folks at a table, and then he goes behind the bar and he looks up and waves. Greetings, come, good to see you, friends. And, it appears you have new friends or other friends. Where are the old friends? Welcome. And you see before you, he's probably mid-40s. He's got a very nice apron on over a sort of a blousey top, woolen pants, a little bit balding. If you look closely enough, it's apparent that he's missing the pinky on his left hand. And he kind of bows, mostly greeting the newcomers, which are, let's see, Viz, Fix, Wisteria, and Rance, because I don't think Viz and Fix have been here before. Welcome to the Teshford Arms.
They've been.
Have
they've
they?
been
Oh wait, here we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the cupcake place.
Yeah, okay, so he mostly then focuses on Wisteria and Rance, because, the people have been here before, who cares? Welcome to the Teshford Arms. I'm Oliver. I'm the proprietor and vintner, and welcome. So what can I do for you folks today? Will you all be needing rooms? I know everyone's sort of checked out. You've been busy with this and that. The news has gotten here before you. I feel like we have real heroes in our midst. Perhaps a celebration?
I have some rooms in a private area so that we can, take some refreshments.
Oh, well, of course, yes. We have the meeting area in the back, the sort of the parlor, if you will. We could certainly open that up for you. Nobody's back there. In fact, nobody's even in the dining room. And he kind of, gestures over it. It's all, there's like candles in nice sconces on the walls, and it's lit, clean, empty. Tables are all set for probably for supper, should people come through the weather. Yes, we could set you up in the back parlor. I can have some food, certainly mint tea, I'm sure. And he kind of winks at Ronvin. Natalia and Avina can come and take care of you. I can certainly manage the tap room. So please come this way. And he leads you through the dining area. You do see the familiar face and silhouette of Din as she scurries about in her baked goods corner. She's kind of straight ahead and a little to the, let's see, as you walk in, a little to the left on the taproom side. She's got a little open counter area with, you can see her baking apparatus in operation there. It's probably about a 20 by 15, 20 wide, 15 deep, like a kitchenette for baking and displaying her baked goods. And you can see her kind of scurrying about, and she kind of stops and looks over and kind of waves at the folks she recognizes and goes back to what she's doing. She's got flour on her face and her stuff on her apron, and she's just doing her little thing there. And Oliver leads the group through the dining room and into the back, what he refers to as the parlor. There's a nice brass placard, and it's etched, and it says Teshford Parlor. And it's double doors that they're pocket doors, and they slide into the walls. And before you opens up, and none of you I think have been back here before, opens into the room itself is 10, 20, 30 feet from these double doors to the back wall. And it is 40 feet across from side to side. In the center of the room is a 15-foot-long, very simple constructed wooden table with benches on either side and stools on either end. There's a table to your right, which would be the west wall. You're facing south in this double door. It's about an 8-foot table, and there are chairs maybe for 6. There are 2 round windows that are kind of oval, very wide, almost 5 foot wide at their center, and the ceiling in here is about 12 feet, and these windows are almost floor to ceiling, and they give a beautiful view of the western lawn as it leads into the woods, and you can see the rain just coming down outside. And then there's a humongous wall of windows on the south wall, and it is, gosh, probably 20 feet, and they're floor to ceiling, 20 feet wide. There's a little door in the southeast corner, and there's a double door in the northeast corner, probably leads into the kitchen. There's a banquette on the east wall. There's a seating area with 4 comfortable-looking sort of club-type chairs and a low round table that face the big picture window. There's a fireplace in the southwest corner that's all of 8 feet wide. It's got a big, beautiful stone hearth. And stone around it, then a mantelpiece across the top of the stone facing that matches both of the long tables, and it's wood grain and tone, which is a sort of a light maple. The room itself is plaster, sort of a dirty whitewashed plaster. I don't mean dirty as in dirt, but just an off-white plastery whitewash with about a 3-foot wainscoting of tongue and groove, same wood as the tables, and then it's a stone tile floor. Very clean and neat. There's a really nice tapestry above the fireplace with the Dagger Falls heraldry. And then there, around the room on the various walls here and there are paintings, a bit of what you would probably consider to be sort of kitschy, artwork of various scenes around Dagger Falls. There's a scene, of the Eagle's Eyrie. There's a couple of different landscapes of the falls, different views, falls from different perspectives, various buildings. There's a beautiful painting of the Teshford Arms. So just a nice, airy, bright space, about 12-foot high ceilings with beams across it at about 10 feet, maybe 9 feet. So there's space above the beams. You can see the trusses. Just a nice open space. It's a little echoey in here because of the height of the ceiling and some smooth surfaces. But he steps in and says, "Please make yourselves at home. What could I get started for you? We have a wonderful buffet that's almost prepared. It'll be ready probably in about 45 minutes. We could just set you up with that if everyone's hungry."
That sounds lovely. But I've also heard that the cupcakes here are quite divine. Could we get some of those as well?
Yes, absolutely. I will see what Din has. And he kind of smiles at Rue and Ronvin. Any particular flavor you're hoping to?
Oh,
to get?
I don't know what flavors. What flavors do you recommend?
Chocolate with mint frosting.
He winks at Ronvin. Yes, of course. She always has those. I'll bring a plate in. Yes, anything to drink.
Wonderful.
Coffee, mint tea, of course. It's a wonderful day for mint tea, and I will be sure to get a fire in the hearth right away.
Mint tea sounds wonderful, actually.
Excellent. What for the rest of you? I know Ronvin, I know you'll be having mint tea. We have all manner of wines, ales. We make our own wine here.
Be there any rum?
Rum! Yes, absolutely.
I'll be having that.
I'll bring the bottle.
Just some ale for me, please.
Very well.
I would like the mint tea, please.
Mint tea, very nice. Does anybody want any goat's milk or anything for their mint tea? Just straight up.
Milk does not go in tea.
Yes, very well. Well, some favor milk.
Mint tea be always better with a bit of rum.
Mint tea for you as well, then. And you, wee man, what could I get for you? And kind of moves down a little close, and you're accustomed to people doing that, you know.
The reply that Viz gives is not that small, and I've heard you have some lovely mid-wine.
We do, yes. Would you
That's
favor a
fine.
darker, sweeter, heavier wine, or maybe a more light, brighter vintage?
Why not both?
Very well. I shall be back in just a few moments. Please make yourselves comfortable. You'll have the run of the place. I will close the doors here, and he slides the pocket doors and latches them, and then heads through the double doors into the kitchen.
So, what for shall we be doing now? After all the talk with the uptight metal man.
What are our options?
Well, apparently his lordship wants some of his knickers to be brought in one piece, or whatever it is that he likes.
Did you just say his lordship?
Isn't he rather large? Large?
It sounded like lard. Never mind. Ignore me.
Large.
Well, who knows? Well, there's the thing with the trade route, which seems kind of urgent for Lord Cormiel. What? How do you say his name?
Holy cornmeal.
Oh, I heard
Cormier.
I heard Cormorel, but it sounded so much like cornmeal. Would probably do well tried. Seems very interested in ensuring that shipment comes in, so we could prioritize that. But then there's those rather ugly devil things down in the underbelly that seem to be a big problem as well. I'm not sure that Zol's ready to really deal with it. But I don't know that we're ready to deal with it because I don't know that we know what's going on. Rue, what do you think?
Well, we talked about in 2 days confronting Asha with a bit of deception. Are we looking to do something else before then?
Do you need to do some reconnaissance before that? You know, up some knowledge or something, or update. There you go. Update your knowledge. So you could pretend to be somebody. I never pretended to be somebody else. I don't know how that works.
I don't think you're talking about reconnaissance of Luana.
Well, because if you're pretending to be somebody, don't you have to like learn the newest stuff that's been going on, so that nobody can catch you in a lie?
It would be
Well, you
ideal, yes.
You have to know the mannerisms and how they talk and what they know. If you don't know what they know, then you can get caught pretty easily, I feel.
I mean, we could do some sleuthing anyways in all directions. I mean, if you're doing that, you could check out the trade route thing and listen to some rumors. Viz is pretty good at listening to rumors. Most people don't even realize he's there. And also, I would like to go back to the library. Look some stuff up.
There's a library?
Yes, we've been in the library.
Yeah, the Lord has books. Not that he
Well, I
likes
guess
them,
some of us have
but
been in there.
but he has books. Yes, he has lots of books.
So he just has a lot of books and doesn't read any of them?
I'm not quite sure.
Can he
It was implied, but we're not quite sure. He has people taking care of his books, so. But he did say us we could use it, so I want to go back and look some stuff up about wings and stuff.
Well, the thing with this trade route thing is that it'll probably take us more than a couple of days to resolve.
Agreed.
We need to know when they left and where roughly they're expected to be along the route. I suppose. That seems.
I feel like
Go ahead.
I feel like if it's information about the Zentaran that we're looking for, maybe we should start with Rance here. What is your story with the Zentaran?
Well, the I'd be working for the Zentarim for about 1 month. I didn't get very far up into the organization. Kind of was just told what to do, where to go, and what to do it. Like I was back to being a midshipman. I do know a thing. I know a thing or two about ambushing a shipment, so I may be a little use on the ambush thing. And how many of ye can do that trick where you change how you look?
I can.
I saw you, but can any other? Can the rest of you do it? Little wee man, can you make yourself bigger?
Oh, much.
Arr,
not-
little wee man.
I'd rather not do it in here, though. It gets a little messy.
What do you mean by that?
This is a pretty big room, isn't it? Well, and so Viz goes sort of flying on the his horizontal, sort of like he's lying down in midair, and then just and becomes a 13.5-foot tall monster fairy.
You're needing to stoop a bit with the 12-foot ceiling, but yeah, you could do that.
I'm literally sideways in repose, flying. So I'm sort of hovering.
Oh, nice.
Along the long wise, so that I don't go through the
see.
ceiling
Yes, I see.
or break the floor.
Such a show off.
Well,
Big enough for you.
Well, Matt, you're muted.
That'd be plenty big for me now.
Viz just reaches down and gently pats you on the head.
Oh.
Yes.
well. I guess that's what you meant.
Now you see why we sent him first.
I understand.
And after about a minute, it just goes, and Viz is back, tiny. Anyway, that's the best I can do. I don't look different. I just look bigger.
I mean, I don't look different. I can, well, kind of, I guess. I can make wings, but that's about it.
Can
I'm
you
not
fly?
doing that here. I'm not doing that here, no.
Can you fly?
Kind of? Hover? I haven't tried it yet. It was kind of hard to get back down.
I wish I could fly.
All I do is fly. It's a lot of fun. You should try it.
I would love to.
Well, maybe we can find some books on that.
Now, I know Asha's movements for the week. She ain't expecting that Zent agent for another 3 weeks. So we'll need a good tale.
3 weeks. I thought you said once per 10 day.
We all math very good.
I had a lot of rum last time.
This is, I mean, figuring out the timetable is kind of important. You're sure it's not for 3 weeks?
Rance kind of sits there for a second, scratches his beard. She's not expected for another 3 weeks. She comes once per month, 10
Per
days.
month.
Aye.
Okay, that's not what you told Zal.
He'd be not needing to know all the truth now, does he?
We'll send him a letter.
We don't really do lies in the group, though, okay?
Aye, miss.
Mm-hmm. Like this
You're-
redheaded young girl who's gonna break your heart, she's gonna burn you, gonna tell you off and make you cry.
even alive and being in my nature, but I try to be turning over a new leaf.
That's good. That's good because we don't lie to each other. I mean, if you got secrets, that's fine, as long as they don't hurt us. But we ain't lying.
It may not have been that he was lying. It might have been the rum was making him answer falsely.
Yeah, I can give him the benefit of the doubt. I just thought I'd put this down because, you know,
Lay down the rules.
we got all these new friends, and, you know, that's the bottom line. We be sneaky, and we might have secrets, but we ain't liars. Weirdos, not liars.
I like that.
I mean, if we ever do put our Iron Phoenix up, we could put it on the bottom. Iron Phoenix, weirdos, not liars.
Oh, it's like our catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like a
In
tagline.
case we have a clubhouse or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
All right,
totally
then-
getting out her notebook, already trying to figure out how she can put it up together and make it light up the way she likes it.
That'd be great as a shield.
As you all are chatting, kind of a knock comes on the double doors that are in the northeast wall headed into the kitchen, and the doors push open. And a halfling, maybe 60 plus years, stumbles in. Hello, I'm Calvin. I'll be setting up your fire there in the hearth. Don't mind me. And he just kind of wanders through without even asking. Or Rue and Ronvin, you would recognize Calvin as the primary stableman. And he has a bundle of kind of smaller sticks and things, and some paper with which to, and some kind of grasses and things to get the fire going. And he heads over there and immediately blithely ignores everyone and starts to work on getting a fire going in the brace in the hearth. There's part of the hearth face itself is kind of an arched opening, and it's all full of cordwood ready for burning.
Did anybody like this? Fix pulls out a quarterstaff and sets it on the table. It's magic.
Who would use
I
a
don't-
staff?
I don't want it.
I don't really use a staff. It looks kind of nice. Anybody identify it yet?
Yeah, it's like a little bit better than a regular one.
Right.
It's a plus one.
I could have done that, but no, it's not really my style. Mateus, Wisteria, you
What?
using something like this?
Did you have a stick?
Well, I don't have a pretty stick like that, but I would gladly take one.
It's all yours. He just rolls it across the table.
I will not deny a pretty stick.
Nice, got rid of that. It's a plus one quarterstaff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also have this ring that we found that I was holding on to until someone else needs it, but I don't think I want it. And Fix takes a ring off of his finger and sets it on the table. It's a ring of evasion.
Oh, I thought we already gave that to Ronvin.
If that happened last week,
I
was
already
thinking-
wear 2 rings. Are you guys gonna make me like?
you're blinged out.
I'm totally blinged out because she's already wearing a ring of protection and a ring of fire resistance. That's probably why she didn't volunteer.
I thought I was holding on to it, but I have no
I don't
reason.
know.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Rance, would you like this? Do you have problem dodging things?
Would you like help dodging things?
I tend to not have problems dodging things, but a bit of bling never hurt anybody.
Ooh. Are you proposing?
No.
Being a wedding in the min field might be nice, but they just met this.
I be married to the sea.
Right, he's married to the sea. I'm not.
Calvin
I don't want
stands
to
up
step
as
in between that.
a fire roars to life in the hearth, and he stokes it with wood and kind of bows and just steps out, kind of shaking his head. Clearly he's been listening. And as he passes out, two servers pass through the double doors, making their way into the dining room with drinks on trays. There are 4 different like warming sort of carafes that the mint tea is in. There's mugs. There's a large tankard of ale. They set a pint bottle of rum, what you assume to be rum, on the table. They ask, and there's 2 of them. One of them is a 5'2" human female, probably late teens, somewhere 16 to 19, hard telling. Very short, dark hair, piercing dark eyes, medium build, and she's holding the the 2 wine bottles. She sets them on the table. Who requested the wine? The other female is probably about 5'6", 5'7", pretty slender, brown hair, double braids in the back, quite long. They're both wearing like white server type clothing, very neat, nothing fancy, very kind of utilitarian and neat, little aprons all tucked in. And so the taller one sets the drinks on the table, and the shorter one asks, who was having the wine?
Oh, Viz lands on the table. Over here.
She kind of steps back and kind of side-eyes her friend when she sees you, and a smile crosses her face. What? Wow. I'm sorry. And she kind of collects herself. I just never met anyone like a little flying person. Wow.
Can we? Mm-hmm.
So wine, yes, very good. Would you like the red wine first, or the white wine? The red is it's darker, a little heavier, sweeter. The white wine is it's brighter. It's more citrusy, a little tart.
Start with the white wine.
Very,
I'll
very,
have the
very
red
well.
wine after me.
She'll pull some sort of a little tool, a device out to get the cork out, and she pours just a little splash in a simple wine glass and hands it to you and waits for you to have a sniff or whatever it is you do with wine.
Well, this will do what he does, and that is leave the cup on the table, bend over the lip, and dip his head directly into it, because the cup is about the same size as he is.
Human-sized, yeah. That's probably fair.
And takes a big slurp of it and says, that's the good stuff.
Is that to your likings, sir?
Sure.
Very well.
His hair is just covered in it.
Okay. She pulls it back a little cautiously and fills it about 3/4 full. Sets it down. I am Natalia, and Avina and I will be serving you this evening. Oliver said that you might wish to have supper when it is ready. Is that...
That would be awesome.
Should we lay the table out for full servings, full supper then?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Delightful.
That would be very much appreciated.
We have quite the menu prepared. Mama Beldy likes to cook when the weather's bad. She kind of smiles.
Very good.
Very well. We'll bring you some food out. And the cupcakes are on their way, I'm told. And Avina smiles. Is there anything else we can get you? She kind of steps up. They auto set the smaller table because there are 6 of you, and that's the 8-foot table that's parallel to the west wall by the 2 big oval tall windows, rather than putting you at the big 15-foot table where you all would. That's a table for 10.
Sounds good.
Very well. They kind of bow and back up and turn and head back through the double doors. And so you have before you 4 carafes with the mint tea. Just keeps it nice and hot. There's cups on little saucers. Rue, you have your tankard of ale. Rance, you have a wooden cup and a pint of rum uncorked. It appears to be a dark rum. Very, very sweet. Very much... strong scent of molasses and raisin. Yeah.
Rue has already drained his mug of ale.
How quickly did you do that?
Pretty
Like-
quickly.
Kind of thing.
Mhm.
So Avina would have noticed and says something about getting you another Tankerville straight away as they leave.
Does Rue seem troubled right now?
Yeah, he's been pretty agitated since the meeting with Zal. He was pretty agitated during that.
So, is there an extra cup of the mint tea on the table?
There are cups of mint tea for all. There are 6 cups and 4 large, these sort of ceramic pitchers with lids. And it's just a gravity lid, like it just fits in nicely, and you kind of twist it. You know, the kind of the stoneware on stoneware. It kind of doesn't lock it, but it keeps it in place.
Mm.
You can feel the
Rance
little grab.
Rance will grab a thing of tea and get himself a cup of tea and put it in front of him and take some of the rum and pour a goodly amount into the cup with tea. And then with all the pomp of like a British aristocrat, failing to, follow etiquette, we'll try to pick it up and pinky in the air, have a cup of mint tea with rum in it.
Fancy.
Well, how does it taste?
He chokes and sputters and throws the cup down and just grabs his cup and fills it with rum by itself and just kind of looks at everybody and scowls and slumps down.
It must be
It's
good.
supposed to have rum in it. You can add some honey.
Oh, that
Honey.
sounds wonderful.
Hey, Rance, I will say that this rum, it is sweet. And a wee spicy, but it's definitely an 80 proofish. Like, it's a good rum. And it has some, it's not like the swill that you get often on board ship or in a nasty, bar tavern on the wharf. It's pretty good stuff. It's a good distilled spirit.
So he'll be sipping it. He won't be no chugging it here.
Perfect. As y'all are talking, the double doors open again, and through them burst a 3'7" blonde hair tied back, white apron, white top. It's the young adult halfling that you saw scurrying about, and she has a tray with probably 18, a dozen and a half, white frosted dark cupcakes, already removed from the papers. And she sets them down on the table. Hello, I'm Din, and these are my cupcakes. I hope that you like them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything that I can get you? I just that little bakery out there, that's mine. That's Din's Dumplings and Desserts.
It's really good.
These are the house favorite, the mint chocolate cupcakes. Sinful. I mean, as sinful as a simple halfling could make them.
Well, Wisteria will try one, and immediately her eyes just widen really big and just continues eating it because she's never tasted something that sweet and that good before.
The mint frosting, it's creamy, like smooth cream. You know how some frostings have that granular texture, like a sugar froth? This is somehow smooth as silk. It's almost like a mint truffle frosting. Vanilla and mint tones. And then the cake itself is not a devil's food cake. It's moist. It's like a milk chocolate, but darker. Not overly sweet. So the mint really stands out from the chocolate. And it's the kind of cupcake texture that you can just kind of mash to the roof of your mouth with your tongue, and then it'll hang there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wisteria's in love.
Din smiles as you start to eat the cupcake, and she gets this look on her face like, perfect. And she nods and kind of bows and backs out of the room enjoy your cupcakes. The bakery
Thank
is
you.
open. The bakery is open past supper into the cocktail evening hour. So should you desire more sweets, we'll be there.
No.
Miss Ronvin, you were quite right about the cupcakes.
There's a reason we stay here, and it's not just, the beautiful mint fields and the tea. It is mostly the cupcakes. Yeah.
Avina comes in. You almost don't notice Rue until there's a fresh mug of ale in front of you. And she also set a very, very small cask. It's probably got 4 or 5 tankards worth in it. And it's got a cork jammed in a hole. And she sets that on the big table. And she just kind of smiles and steps out and vanishes back into the kitchen.
Fix would grab a cupcake and walk over to Rue and place it in front of him and just smile.
Thank you, Fix.
Sure. You need to lighten up a little bit. I know it stinks right now, but have a little bit of fun.
Rue takes a big bite out of the cupcake and then washes it down before ale.
So, what to first? Do we want to?
What time is it?
It's probably 2 p.m. It's moving on toward, supper time. Supper around here is usually fairly early, like by 3.
Well, Fizz, how you feel about doing some listening to rumors after supper? I mean, you can easily get to places in little taverns, have it, and listen in. Maybe we'll find out the stuff about the trade stuff and, the rumors that are going around.
Maybe.
I mean, you're kind of made for it. I mean, I know Matthias would go, but he would probably get drunk. So, plus he is not as, let's say, stealthy as you are, because you can just fly in hide. He would have to stomp in order.
Well, if you need something small, I probably could also try to help. I am able to, turn myself into smaller creatures if we need something a little bit more inconspicuous going in.
I am the height of inconspicuity, says Viz as he dusts some cupcake crumbs off his multi-hued armor, shock of purple hair dripping with wine. He's a bit of a mess at the moment. I am very discreet. But Rue here is much better at being charming and sneaky.
Rance is deep in thought, playing with his beard, slowly sipping the cup of rum and picking at one of those cupcakes. And he says, when be that caravan to come through? The one that the bandits are expected to waylay.
It's actually a good question that I don't have in my notes. Scott, do we recall?
I want to say that was 3 or 4 days out. Yeah, it's not immediate. I think Zal was hoping that you might, consider taking to the East Road and doing some investigation on the way out there, and then maybe kind of staking things out, keeping an eye out for the caravan, that sort of thing.
Right.
So we're supposed to be preparing to impersonate someone too, right?
Well, that was the thought behind approaching Ashatenor. Certainly. I mean, we have some time before her contact arrives that Rue's been talking about.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe we can shadow her some and learn, some of her like mannerism and how she interacts with people without her knowing that we're watching.
Right.
I mean, would that help, Rue?
Shadow Luala? I don't think we know where she is.
Do we know anybody who knows a lot about Tuala? You could go talk to them.
I've had some experience with Luala.
Ooh.
I have to admit that Luala would really like to kill me in particular.
Well, that's no good. Why? What did you do?
That's a long story.
Fine with mortals, that usually means it's something they don't want to talk about.
You're not entirely wrong. Grants did Luala or anyone from the Zentarum mention someone in Neverwinter that they had tried to kill in the prisons of Neverwinter.
Nay, I was but a fang, the lowest. They told me nothing about far off operations. Simply go here, do this, and it'd be only a month before I made him break for it. I've only seen that Zent wench twice, and I'd enjoy putting me cutlass through her gullet if I get the chance a third time.
Well, she doesn't seem very nice.
She's not. There's a secret that I've been running with for a long time, which is quickly catching up with me.
Don't tell me you're not a merchant.
I'm not a merchant. I think that's pretty obvious.
Wait, so did you lie to me about being a merchant just earlier today?
He did act like a merchant because he actually was a merchant when we went to the Grand Ole route. What was that the place called again? The
Nistara. Oh,
yeah.
Deep Devil's Enclave.
Yeah, in Deep Devil's Enclave. I mean, what is history is that difference. But right now, yeah, he was a merchant with us.
Oh, so you could claim being a merchant now then. So it's okay. It's okay.
So, there we are with the secrets and the lying, right? He ain't lying, but he has secrets.
Fair enough.
Don't make yourself look like a liar, man.
Yes, I actually used to work for the Zentarum.
A lot of that going around.
Wondering if that's contagious.
I didn't know what a Zentarum was until we came here.
Yeah, I was kind of out of the loop.
When we ran into Luala previously, we were kind of gives Bronwyn a knowing look. She didn't recognize me because I can change my form.
Oh, I can too, but probably not the same.
That was a juicy secret that took us some time to learn, and you guys just get it handed on a platter. So be happy. Be happy. Some of us worked hard for that.
I be liking Rue more and more as I hear his stories.
So
Not a
you can,
merchant, former Zent. Did ye have a falling out with the Zents?
You could say that. They decided for whatever reason that they wanted to kill me and sent someone to assassinate me. And I just managed to get the better of him and get away. But I've been maintaining this form and making everyone believe that this is the only form that I have since then, because if word gets out that there's a changeling that is in these parts and Zentari get word, they will presumably come after me again.
Do they not like changelings?
No, it's not that. It's
it's you.
That there aren't very many changelings, and it's me that they want to see dead. So presumably they'll, if they hear of a changeling, I mean, what are the odds that there would be, 2 in this area, right?
Darn it, I can't keep a straight face. I don't know.
Changelings be wanted either dead or used for the Zent's own purposes.
Yes.
A Zent changeling is a nasty thing.
Yes, I have also, as you say, Rance, been trying to turn it over a new leaf, as you said, and do some good with this group.
I'd be trying to turn over the new leaf, not so much for the good of it, but as to avoid the noose.
There's no news like good news.
No, noose, not news.
News?
Yeah, like the thing they put on your neck and then you go.
Oh. Okay.
That's one way to describe it, yeah.
That's what they do.
Like I said, in some ways, Wiz needs some polish.
So, with all that said, I think that I could impersonate Luella pretty well, but I'm not necessarily ready for Zal and everyone in Dagger Falls to know that I'm a changeling.
Wait, so what does regular Rue look like if this isn't how Rue always looks?
Honestly, I don't really have a set form. I always look like someone that I've seen before.
I mean, there's someone else out there that looks as handsome and striking as you do.
Shockingly, yes.
Shocking. It'd be interesting if we ever run into them.
This particular face was belonged to a merchant that I saw in Neverwinter when I was a kid there.
Oh.
So it would be a bizarre coincidence if we ran into him again.
That would be awkward.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we could always spy on Asha Turner in more direct ways.
Like what?
Well, as was pointed out, I'm actually pretty decent at getting into places. We might be able to find out, Rue might be able to find a cache of documents or something in her office, if she has an office. I don't know. How do people run businesses?
I still like the idea of interrogating her, or not interrogating her, but of impersonating Luala and trying to get information from her that way. I think that's going to be very effective.
Yes.
But she'd be needing a tail.
In that case, Rue, I believe, wouldn't you be the best person to try to impersonate?
Probably true, since I have some history with her. I have pretty good knowledge of what she talks like.
Mm-hmm.
With your abilities and knowledge, it seems like the most logical choice, at least.
So we talked about doing that in 2 days though, right?
Yes.
Do we know anything about the bandits who be attacking the trade into the city? Are they Zents?
They don't
They're-
really know, do they?
It's presumed to be Zens.
Right, they think
don't
we
know for
assume it
sure.
is.
Don't be forgetting that Luella always came with 2 Zent guards, and we not be having any Zent.
So the rum didn't change that number then.
No, the run be not changing that number. So it be kind of hard to have to pose as Zents without the right costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Brent, did you get a costume when you were part of the troop?
But I have since stitched that.
No.
Well, darn, we could use it.
I was just thinking I could get a dark cloak that, just get a dark cloak that covers pretty much everything and wear that and throw back the hood. Looks like it
Wouldn't the Lord's people not have like confiscated some of their gear over time? Maybe we could get some from their, evidence locker or lost and found or whatever they call it.
Yeah, we could make it look real good. I could dress up like one, and then we could have Rance do another one because he's already been one. He already knows what to do. I'll just be quiet, and then we just follow you, and then we'll look all official.
But it might be that we could encroach upon the bandits' hospitality and be and they might be kind enough to supply us with a few costumes.
Or we could kill him and take it.
I think that's what he was implying.
He was just saying it nicely,
Yes.
I don't even know.
so we don't sound like murder hobos.
The bandit thing sounds appealing because it can be done in a relatively short period of time, and it's probably going to take time to find them anyway. I mean, we're not going with the shipment, are we?
No. Should we pretend to be merchants so that we get attacked? Or are we just gonna run up the road and look for them?
I thought we would just fly up the road and look for them. Well, I can fly.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
fly. Could Wisteria become like a big bird and I could ride the bird?
I could be a horse.
That can't fly.
No, I can't turn into anything that flies. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We'll figure it out later.
I've probably been too big anyways.
The
Not
Pegasus?
that big.
I mean, she would probably be able to turn maybe soon into somebody like Penny Swoops, but there you're way too big for like riding Penny Swoops.
Right. Could hold
This
on to
could-
the legs.
That's not safe. I would have to build you a seatbelt.
Seatbelt. Viz can fly. He doesn't need to ride the bird.
Ooh.
Boy, when's dinner?
It's coming.
I thought Scott would start describing the people coming. And Scott
Well,
picking it up.
I haven't wanted
Before
to
he does
inter-
that, I'm gonna run off and get a snack because I'm gonna be drooling by the end of this.
I haven't
time.
wanted to interject. There's been a good conversation.
Oh, did I break the conversation?
No. I don't know. I think that we should spy on Asha Turner. Maybe not necessarily as Luella, but just poke around and see what's what. Maybe she's just doing business for the sake of doing business. I don't know.
Yeah, is there a chance we're just wrong and she's like an upstanding businesswoman?
I think the better chances that this had something on her. They've kidnapped someone she loves or are threatening someone or something. That seems more their way.
I guess,
Hey,
Scott,
my
I guess,
Oh,
sorry. I was just going to say, I guess, Scott, that there's been no question or mention of whether or not Asha Turner has like family or other interests in the area that might be compromised in this way.
Sure. Let me fill you in on Asha Tanner and what you know of her. Thought I had her sheet up already. Silly DM. Oh,
I think
I'm looking in the
Rue
wrong
and
place.
Ronvin would probably know the most of the group.
So,
I mean, we don't know her well.
right. You've
Been in the
met her
shop.
a few times in the Winding
Yeah.
Trail. She owns the business. She's been, from what you've heard around Dagger Falls and talking with like Carrie Willow and Zal, she's been around for probably a little over a year. She's owned the business for that long. It seems she came to town to take over or purchase the business, and she has her reputation is that of a very shrewd but fair businesswoman. She drives a hard bargain, so to speak, and she deals with any kind of equipment related to dungeoneering, mountaineering, foresting, rivering, merchanting, caravanning, all of that sort of stuff. Even some mining things and stoneworking things. The staff there is usually 10 to 12 teamsters, led by Glink, the half-orc lead teamster. There's some stalkers and loaders. That's what Rance was doing for a time. He was a loader. Well, you still are, actually. And Rance, just from your experience with this, that a lot of the Teamsters Loaders crew are retired adventurers. A lot of them are older than you are. They're pretty quick with a blade, able-bodied, not the type of people you just trifle with. But she doesn't say a lot as far as, like, you've never gotten anything out of her information-wise. She's all about the business. But you've only been in there once or twice to, I think maybe, Rue, you might have sold some weapons in there from, maybe picked some up to take to the Grendel route and sold some when you came back, something like that. And I think maybe Gears maybe purchased some armor, and just general gear when you headed east for the capture of Spurnick. So that's kind of what you know. And that's kind of the news around town. She's, nobody in town has a bone to pick with her. She seems tough, but decent. She's probably about, as far as age-wise, probably about 26, 27, somewhere in there. She's got short, dark hair, pretty strongly built female. The suspicion, or everybody just assumes that she has some kind of a military background. 5'10", 155, stocky build. And by stocky, I mean kind of fit, muscular. Usually has a sword on her hip or a dagger. If not full chainmail, you've seen her in both chainmail and a chain shirt. Carries herself much like you'd expect a soldier.
Rance looks at takes a bigger gulp of rum and then looks at little Viz and says, "We needs to spy on Asha," says you. "I reckon I've a solution," says I. "Seeing I work at the Outfitters, I have access to that stores and offices and can come and go at my leave. I can provide us with a wagon and a false cargo, and perhaps the weave Biz can accompany me as I go and procure that, and the wee one can do some looking around."
Sounds like a pretty good idea to me.
It be strange enough that teamster is be loading a cargo. Should provide enough of a distraction.
What would we use for cargo? Salt. We could do salt.
We could ask Zal for the crate back that we gave him and use that.
Maybe
Or-
more than one crate.
Yeah, that's right. We only took the one.
Could we have a covered wagon with just empty boxes in it, maybe?
That'd
Or maybe
be the
the
better
uncovered.
idea.
Just empty boxes. We were just wasting wood, even if we do lose it.
Empty boxes seems to be the way to go.
So just hang out in the back of merchants' like shops and take the boxes that they uncrate.
Well, we could tell them we're moving.
Yes. Go to the liquor store, pick up a few. Sounds good. It's as credible a plan as any.
I think it's worth a shot.
Is that
When
is that yays all around then?
Sure. Seems like. When are you due for your next shift, Grant? Just come work whenever you can.
Tomorrow morning, I am expected to work a shift. Bright and early.
Seems like a good time, a perfect time to do it then.
Yeah, Viz could go with you, and you could just hide in his pocket, and then when you get there, he'll let you out from the back.
I'll just fly.
Or
I
you
think
could
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. In fact, I can even do that now.
So the two of them are going to do that tomorrow. What are the rest of us going to be doing tomorrow?
As you're talking, Natalia and Avina begin setting the large table with platters and bowls and foodstuffs, and this incredible aroma begins to fill the space. You have the crackling of the fire in the hearth, the little bit of smoke smell. Calvin has been in a couple of times very quietly. It's kind of like you're talking, and then all of a sudden there's Calvin over there poking around and getting the damper just right to get the airflow, to get that fire cruising pretty good. He opens the large oval windows. They have some odd construction where they can sort of pivot outward on one side. They're somehow hinged on one side. And so you get the fresh air, but none of the rain coming in. And it is raining pretty good. There's been some thunder and lightning. The wind is whipping. You can see the trees, kind of doing this business now and then. And, excuse me. The two servers set fresh bread, and it's this dark, soft bread. It's not really a hard, crusty bread, as is customary in so many places. It's more of a dark bread. It has some rolled oats on the top. Looks like it's maybe been split before or during baking, and maybe some sort of something has been drizzled or spread upon it while baking. But it smells pretty sweet and earthy. Maybe the faint smell of cinnamon or raisins. And as you turn, they stop and say, I don't know, Avina smiles. I don't know if now's a good time, but I just wish to tell you what we've brought you for supper. And she starts to point at the various containers, and there's a large crockery, like a stew pot. That is a fresh fish caught from the river in the pool beneath the falls. It's in a cream base. It's a trout. It has potatoes, leeks, and carrots in it. Very, very sweet, actually, quite nice. We have roast pork. It's actually falling apart, but it's crusty on the outside. Very, very, very tender, and it's in a sort of a a brown sugar and apple sauce with it. There's fried bread that's been before it was fried. It was rolled around this cheese and she kind of stops and it's like stringy and hot. It's wonderful. It goes very nice with the fish stew, the cream. Yes, we have these grilled pocket breads stuffed with grilled and roasted mushrooms and beets and potatoes and leeks and turnips, and then we have fresh seasonal berries in bowls. There's a mint and lemongrass chicken stock broth, and then we have fresh apple cobbler and of course more cupcakes. Where those came from, she looks over, noticing the empty plate from Din's Bakery. So I hope you all enjoy your meal. Help yourselves. And just let us know if you need anything else to drink. Anyone need an ale with their supper? How's your rum holding out, sir?
He Rance kind of eyes her suspiciously, and then he says, "I be fine, miss. I be fine."
Very well.
More mint tea, actually, if you
Yes.
don't mind.
Of course, right away. Yes. How's the wine over there? Is it? You're muted, Dave.
It's barely been touched. Just little sips here and there, and it's he just looks up and says, "Oh, it's quite lovely, thank you." His hair is still damp.
Very well then. We'll leave you to supper.
Thank you very much.
They both smile, and I will be right back with some more mint tea.
Rance rubs his beard. You can tell that Rance is in thought, and he says, "Now that I think about it, that Asha, her accent is not from Dagger Falls. I would bet 5 gold coins that she is Flan. She's from the Moon Sea. I've seen many places in the Moon Sea and Sea of Fallen Stars, and I think I can place her accent. She is not from here."
Land is where the weapons were coming in from.
I Flan be about 250 miles as the crow flies.
Well, that's either an interesting coincidence or some pretty good evidence that she's involved in this thing.
Rance grabs the fish and starts eating it.
I think what's more interesting is she's one of the handful of people who actually knew about that passage to the Underdark, for someone who hasn't been in town very long, relative to others.
Did she make any close friends? Do we know of? I mean, somebody must have told her about it.
Well, I assume she heard of it through official channels. That Zal
The tunnels, you mean?
knows that she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody must have told her about it.
Yeah, if you recall, Zal had mentioned when you were debriefing him that he and, of course, Kessler, the Red Rock Tavern owner, under whose establishment is the tunnel entrance, one of the tunnel entrances. And Asha and the High Mornmaster and, of course, Lord Carmero are all aware of the tunnel system beneath Dagger Falls. And it was a bit of a revelation to you that he also knew of the secret door, as did all of them.
Was
But
Carrie
what's
Willow
troubling
one of
him
those?
is how was the secret door allowed to be breached or opened? Sorry if I interrupted you there, Dave.
No, I was saying that I thought Carrie Willow was also named among those who knew.
Yeah, he would have known. He's the retired constable, so he would be also in the loop. It's like, the town council are, made up of local business owners. So like Carrie Willow, who's retired constable, Zal, the priest of the Temple of Lathander, of course, Lord Cormero, Asha Tanner, Kessla, Loravar, the proprietor at the Dagger Reforged. That group of people is kind of in on the goings on in Dagger Falls.
Do we suspect His Mightiness Zal?
No, I don't think he's involved.
He could be the mastermind behind the whole thing. Who knows? But let's chase the one that we've got. We can figure out more about what's motivating Asher Tanner, then so much better. Might also get some insight into the potential attack on that caravan. If these all tie together.
So, what be the rest of you doing tomorrow?
We could work on getting boxes, maybe. I'm not entirely sure where we would get those.
I mean, we do have an inn with the Lord, and don't we have like a not like a line, but we can probably get those from like the Lord and whatever warehouse he got. I mean, the supplies, requisition it from the castle, the keep, the whatever they call it.
Right, the boxes are probably plentiful. I mean, I'm sure someone's gonna just be like burning them or something.
You could go and ask Ashitana for them, honestly.
If they even, use, do they even use, never mind.
It may be that the proprietor of this fine establishment might be willing to part with a few crates if we slip in a few silvers.
Else, I can always make him. I mean, they're not very hard to make. I mean,
Well, we don't want, don't have to waste your time. It's more fun to bother other people.
okay, yeah, I can follow that since I still want to go to the library.
Yeah, you could go to the library. And then I'll go bug random people for boxes.
Might understand it better if you say crates, but that's okay.
Crates, yep. They call them boxes where I'm from.
Now over here they call them crates, but that's why I'm thinking they might be like box. You want a box?
Like a big box.
like a box for a present.
Yeah, we'll go around. I'll go ask the liquor stores.
You do know that Oliver Sardin is running a winery here also, and
Mine comes in crates.
he has to get all kind of manner of various supplies and materials. They have a small stable in back, and they grow a lot of their own things, and so it wouldn't be out of the question that he would probably have a collection of pallets, crates, things of that nature for shipping. They do sell a fair amount of mint everything. Mint wine, mint tea, mint soup. Mint
soup.
Sydney, you looked like you were about to say something.
Probably was. I don't remember now.
Oh.
All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick 5-minute stretcho? Little quick stretcho bio break. It's 9:10. We will bounce back in at 9:15 and see what the party does here to enact some sort of plan. So we'll see you all in about 5 minutes. Don't go away. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Bye. Woo, see you in a minute. 5 minutes. Okay, we're back. We're broken. We're hydrated. We're happy. And so our scene concludes in the parlor, the Teshford parlor. The party has got themselves a plan. Rance is going to go to work as per normal and see what he can observe or glean or learn or whatever. And apparently Viz is going to accompany him in some way. We're about to find out. And in the meantime, the next day, Rue, Ronvin, Fix, and Wisteria are going to assemble what is necessary to get their caravan in order. And so we will cut. I will assume everybody has secured lodging. How far in advance would you like to make your lodging arrangements with the Teshford Arms? You can go night by night. You can get a little discount if you purchase like a week worth of nights.
I think Ronvin and I are
Like
our
covered.
bills just getting forwarded to.
That's correct. Now that you bring that up, the Iron Phoenix is chartered with Lord Cormeral, and your bills here, I believe, with the exception of maybe food, are your housing is covered.
Yeah.
How much would a week cost?
It's normally a gold piece per night, but you could get like 7 evenings for the price of 6, kind of a thing.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah.
if they're now official members, shouldn't they be covered too?
Well, you all haven't discussed that, so if you wish to maybe have that conversation in the morning or quickly before bed, whatever you'd like to do, that would be a matter for discussion.
And the silence is deafening.
Yeah, like, I mean, right now they're with us, but none of them actually officially said they wanted to join us yet, right?
I'm trying to remember. Did I sign a contract thing? I feel like I signed a. No, I didn't. Okay.
Now, the only people that are originally actually chartered as members of the company, the Iron Phoenix, with Lord Cormeral are Rue and Ronvin. The other 4 characters, each in their own way, have departed for other adventures, other opportunities.
So Rance, maybe before that night concluded, Rance spoke up and said, "Now, when you join a pirate crew, there's always articles which you sign. You agree to the charter of the ship, and you follow the rules. And you're part and a member of the crew. You get a share. You get a vote. If we be working together, I want to sign your charter."
Well, Ronvin, we've never really
made up what our charter says. But we can
No.
definitely assume it says, don't lie to your party members. Do not attack your party members. And else it's probably legalese.
Yeah, the company, the Iron Phoenix, on its charter is serving at the pleasure of Lord Cormeral. And it's kind of been left as, you will be given various tasks and opportunities, and you can decide whether or not you wish to take them on. It's not that you are indentured.
No.
It's nothing like that. You're kind of right of first refusal to Lord Cormeral.
And I think we probably have in there, what the perks are that we agreed on, right?
Yes, and I can dig those up. I don't have those in front of me. I know that as long as you were in town in Dagger Falls, they would provide you with lodging. Oliver Tsardin did mention at some point during the evening, as you've been back there eating and talking, that your meals are on him tonight. There's rumor buzzing around Dagger Falls of the company, their Iron Phoenix, and some newcomers have made some discoveries and saved Dagger Falls from possible sure doom from some great evil. But nobody knows exactly what or where or how. There's rumors that from dragons to evil wizards to some strange extraplanar entities were all about to descend upon Dagger Falls and lay the town to ruin. You know, the typical small
I
town.
do
In fact,
remember that alcohol was on us. He was not covering alcohol.
Viz, you had mentioned maybe taking a little trip around the tap room, and that's been kind of the buzz. You know, ooh, Iron Phoenix, who's that new girl, and who's that little guy that flies, and then there's the cranky one who works at the Winding Trail, you know, just, and there's all this, you know, stuff, and they've been in with Zal all day, and now they're in the back room, and you know, that's, but there's
What are they doing
nothing,
back there?
nobody knows anything, or if they have, they certainly haven't spoken of it in any detail. A lot of guessing.
Good. We'll have to keep it that way.
And I would say, Viz, based on your experience, and even if you shared that with Ronvin and Rue, they've been around Dagger Falls a little longer. That's funny. That you're pretty confident if somebody had the goods or had the info, it would be out. It would be known. Because a lot of people around here like to, you know, be the one that knows the thing that's connected to the dude, you know, that knows the stuff. And so somebody, you're confident that somebody would love to be the breaker of the news, if there were anything, for sure. So you're pretty confident that whatever it is you think you know isn't known by anyone else, including yourselves. You know you have an offer on the table from Zal to investigate eastward the road, and also make yourselves available to intercept the caravan as it comes from the east back to Dagger Falls. And that's kind of what you... And it was 50 gold pieces per day. 25 gold pieces each per day for the first 2 days you get on the road, and then 50 gold pieces each per day for each day you're on the road beyond the first 2. If you decide to commit to this, investigating the countryside along the road, trying to figure out what's happening with banditry and so forth and so on. And also seeing that the other caravan gets in safely.
Did we get paid for going to the Grendel route anyways? Did we get paid for that afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
I must not have paid attention.
I think I put it in Discord.
I will have to read that.
No, this was before any of our characters' times, Preston.
Yeah, this
Oh,
goes...
what?
Only Rue and Ronvin would know
Oh, never
the
mind.
details in character.
I thought that was
anyway.
the thing we did in the tunnels.
No.
No.
Even before.
Me before.
Rance wants to sign the charter and join the Iron Phoenix. So he pipes up and says, "Who be the keeper of your articles? I'll sign them if you'll have me aboard."
That will be Rue, because Rue is the merchanty person. Runvin is an artificer.
No, it would be Lord Cornmeal. Lord
But
But wouldn't we have a copy of it?
there's an executed copy in the constabulary, the Hall of Records, which actually is in the Lord's Keep. But the party also has a copy that has been executed. So there's 2 official...
But there,
Runvin would not
be-
keep it because you know she's an artificer and everything's a mess. So
What's that, Ruth?
she would.
but there would be no point in having them sign our copy, right? The one
Well,
that
I mean, you
needs
don't
to
have
sign
anything
is-
but paper to blow your nose on if there's no signatures on it. It's not a contract without signatures. So this way you have proof of what's been agreed to. So does Lord Cornmeal. And then if you recall, you guys are also sort of super secret retainers. Which the charter, if you remember, Rue and Ronvin, the charter that's being kept on record and the copy that you have is, I wouldn't say fake. It's the public
it's the
arrangement because
Official version.
these charters are a matter of public record. So that if people are wondering, like, why does this band of people kind of keep hanging around and showing up at the Lord's Keep or the constabulary or they're together. So there's an official paper trail of your existence as a group, but your service to Lord Cormeril, gosh, now I'm going to say it every time, is one of a secret nature. Does that make sense? Therefore, you can be sent hither and thither, and no one shall be the wiser or be really clued into. It wouldn't seem odd that you would be sent somewhere on behalf of Lord Cormeril because you're chartered to the town of Dagger Falls and Lord Cormeril. Sort of like Black Ops. So does that make sense?
Yes. Perfect. So it sounds like we have to go to the Hall of Records, put ink on that signature plate, and then transfer that to our own copy. Or your copy.
I mean, couldn't they just sign ours today and then tomorrow go over there? That way the night would already be covered. So,
Yeah.
and then we could show that to the, I forgot his name, Oliver, who runs this place. Is it Oliver?
Yes. What would
Yeah.
you be showing him?
Once they signed the charter, so that and say that their lodging also will be on the tap.
Oh, yeah, you could get that straightened out. I mean, Oliver will pretty much anything you tell him, he's all in. He's a big fan. It's good for his business that the company, the Iron Phoenix, stays in his establishment and frequents the tap room and so forth. You're in a small town of several hundred souls, so
He's going to be selling Iron Phoenix T-shirts.
yeah, people want to know. Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah, you got some branding and merchandising opportunities here for sure.
Yeah, at some point the decorations are going to be on the cupcakes, totally.
Minor illusion.
It's like Texas Roadhouse's like little stamp on the bun. Now we're gonna have a stamp on the cupcakes.
It's awesome.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to our rooms for the night and do the next day.
Yeah, he has no problem making you arrangements. Everybody has a room on the front-facing north face of the building that looks down over the roof of the porch and over the mint fields and down over the river. And it is finally letting up, but there's still just fingers of lightning and booming of thunder as this weather begins to move from west to east. And the tap room at any given point, viz. After supper, got maybe as much as 3/4 full on the word that the Iron Phoenix group is back in town, so to speak, and that everything is all abuzz and there's interest, curiosity. So everybody heads to their room. I presume everybody wanted their own space. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that anyone needs to RP or accomplish before and after bed? Or shall we cut to the morning?
Okay.
All right, so we will cut to the next day. The dawn comes, but it's gray. It's very low cloud ceiling, very humid. The temperature has warmed and the wind has died down, so it's pretty humid and dense. Still relatively cool for summer, but definitely milder than it was yesterday. Definitely a windy, blustery, cold summer rainy day. This morning dawn's gray. The smell of bacon roasting over the fire, as Mama Beldy is known to do, just to rouse the guests as the smells waft up the stairs and up the chimney. The smell of mint, anyone who's got a window open to the north, the smell of mint on the breeze blowing into your rooms from the fields. The smell of pines across the river and north of Dagger Falls also blesses your nostrils as you awaken at dawn. You also smell bread. Oh, happy bread. Cinnamon bread. Raisins and apples. It smells like Thanksgiving morning. You know, the time when Mom gets up real early. Maybe Grandma, she's in town. Maybe you're at Grandma's house and she's been up baking since 4. that smell. Rue and Ronvin, you just know that it's morning at the Teshford. Because it's like this every day.
So Rance gets up, gets his gear, puts on all his stuff, grabs a simple piece of fresh bread, some cheese, waits for Viz.
Yeah, they have a kind of a banquette laid out on the dining room side, and it's got like a simple breakfast. There's a couple rashers of cooked bacon and fruits, berries, the bread, honey butter, regular butter, and then there's like a minty butter. There's mint tea, there's coffee, there's some fruit juices, goat's milk, things like that. Just a simple, cold breakfast-ish sort of thing. You can certainly, if anybody wanted to, there are a few tables on the porch with people having coffee and cupcakes. Din is already about her business in the bakery area, and there's a few tables in the tap room where people are having breakfast. When Rue and Ronvin happen to come down, you just recognize them as typical regulars. They might even smile and maybe wave or tip a hat. But Rance, I presume you're up early. You said you're waiting for Viz?
Yep.
When Wisteria wakes up, she will, go down to hopefully meet everyone else down there. And assuming that she sees Rance, she will walk over to him and sit by him. And she goes and reaches for a lock of her hair. And without any effort at all, she is able to take off like a lock of one of her dreads, and she kind of wraps it up and hands it to Rance. And she goes, I know this may seem strange, but I can either send you a message through this or see from your position, from a long range, from using this and just holding her hair. And she's like, maybe this will be useful just to kind of comfort knowing that we're still in contact in some way, or I can know where you are if there seems to be any kind of trouble going on.
And Rance, you can tell that he's not spent much time. He spent most of his time around, sailors at sea, and so he's a bit flustered. He doesn't quite know what to say, and he takes it and says, "Thanks, lass." And you can tell he looks over his outfit and he finds a place to hang it, and he kind of adds it to the trinkets that kind of hang around him.
There's limited things that I can use to do that. I figured you would appreciate that more than a fingernail or a tooth. So.
Oh, are those options as well?
Those are options, yes. Ew. I figured you would rather have the hair than a tooth or fingernail.
Ain't that the tooth?
Yeah. Rance, like, out of character, bashfully, just kind of goes back to his food, and you can tell he's a bit nervous.
She just kind of like cocks her head. She not understanding.
Oh.
After a while, he's like, "I need rum. Where's my rum?"
Right.
Okay, so we've got Wisteria and Rance down early. Anybody else coming down?
Yeah, Fix would come down and get like a cup of, I guess, the tea again and a thing of cinnamon bread and kind of munch on it and wait for Rue.
Yeah, Rue will come down and munch on some bacon. You said everyone that's in the tap room just looks like regulars. None of them seem like they're...
Yeah. Looks like the usual. You'll see a couple of the constable's deputies in there. Maybe either coming off late night shift or coming on. there's some that come before that 7 a.m. time, and some that come a little after that. The Teshford Arms is one of the places in Dagger Falls for news, good times, all that sort of thing. And so, there's also a few of the town fathers that usually older graybeards that like to sit in there and solve the world's issues. And, there's some sewing going on and some, various, just it's that kind of a place, especially in the morning. And yeah, you don't really see any sign of any traveler types.
Okay. I just want to keep an eye out while we're sitting and talking to see if anyone comes in that seems like a Zentarum hired guard or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to be basically leaning on your passive perception intentionally?
Sure.
Okay. Are you joining Wisteria and Rance?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Gotcha.
Fix would walk up to Rue after he comes down. Are you going to come with me and help get crates today, or are you doing something else?
Sure, I can come with you.
I think Rondon's going to go to the library. Wisteria, are you going to the library or you want to get crates?
Well, I don't think 3 people are needed to go get crates. Unless you want me to accompany, but
No, you can do what you want.
I might go to the library with Miss Rondon, so.
That sounds good to me.
Unless we don't want to split up. Unless we don't want to split up too much.
Ah, we're already split up.
Split the party 3 ways? No problem.
She would love company.
In town, we should be pretty safe, I think.
Totally safe in town.
Unless you're not.
Zol
God.
is really behind all of this.
Yeah. He's like, finally, they're not together.
Dun, dun, dun.
Viz just shows up at the table with 2 rashers of bacon, 1 in each hand, munching away. His hair is sort of damp. His clothes are damp a bit. And he mumbles something about it's moister than a Spriggan's armpit out there. And somewhere off in the distance in the tap room, you hear someone say, "But I had a full plate of bacon and half of it's gone now."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. There's a
no.
kerfuffle amongst the halflings over near the hearth. The fire's burned low from overnight. It's warmed up enough that they don't really, if you feel like a roaring fire might just make it like a real armpit in here. And they're squibbling with one another. There's 3 of them, all gentlemen. They kind of resemble like maybe a carpentry crew or some kind of work crew, wearing what you would expect some blue, cottony, rough-looking tops and dark trousers. And a couple of them have hammers at their belts, and they're kind of arguing and quibbling with one another about missing bacon and 3 cupcakes, sort of a thing.
No.
Rance goes and pops his head out a window or a door or something and looks at the sun and its position in the sky and says, "Well, it be time to go."
Yeah, and all you get as far as sun is just a little bit lighter circular aura where the sun would be, give or take. Yeah, you've kind of gone out just to confirm that, it feels like it's time. Oh, yep, looks like it's probably time. So, Viz and Rance, you're going to make your way to the Winding Trail, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Viz, by what means, tell me, just give me as we do this, give me, a good blow-by-blow of what it is you're actually doing. As you leave the Teshford, there's the road down the hill, across the bridge. You'd have to take a right to go over the Winding Trail. There's a little bit of traffic. A couple of farmers are bringing a cartload of late summer corn into town, presumably to the market, that sort of thing going on. And it's just very misty and gray.
Yeah. So I'd be following Rance discreetly, flying probably as far up as I can without being noticed, but close enough that I don't lose track of him.
not so close to the sun that your wings of wax would melt, Icarus.
Name's neither Icarus nor are my wings of wax.
Yes. Well,
Not yet.
so Rance, describe your commute to work this morning.
So, so we're going to the caravan supplies, right? That's
Yes, and if you're looking on the Dagger Falls map, which is
Yes.
still displayed prominently on stream and also living in the Discord in the proper channel, I might add. I posted it earlier in the main Wily Hobbit chat channel, and people are probably like, what the hell is this map doing here all of a sudden? If you cross the river heading basically north, you will take a right at that major intersection, and the big white square building on the corner, the northeast corner of the east-west road and the road that heads north is the winding trail. There's a couple of stables behind it. You see some residences. You pass the sturdy Scabbard Leatherworks right there on the intersection. There's a big stately 2-story timber, stone, and wood home built right in that little peninsula between the intersections, and everything seems to have a coating of wet. Whether it's just leftover from the rain that couldn't have possibly dried even with the wind because of the humidity and the lack of sun, or it's dew. Either way, everything is wet. There are puddles in the road, some deeper than others. Yes.
Yeah. So, Rance will go to, like he's going into work. He'll say hi to the people who are working by nodding at them.
Yeah, Glink will
doing-
kind of nod at you, and
Yeah.
and he'll reach for the clipboard type device that he uses to track people in and out, and kind of just does his half work thing and smiles at you, one fang kind of.
So Rance will then make his way to the stables and try to track down the stable master
Okay.
as he's around there or whatever.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any trouble doing that. It's a human male. He fancies himself a bit of a scout tracker guy. He's probably late 50s. Saul is his name. Saul Ransbottom. And he always dresses in leathers. And by leathers I mean armor and trousers, like he's, if he needs to make a break for the woods, he's got his, dark green stained cloak, his short sword, his short bow, are both propped near the exit to the stables. He could go ranger at a moment's notice.
And I'm assuming Rance has since he's worked for this, he's encountered this guy before.
Oh yeah.
And so he goes up to him and slaps him on the back and gives him a hearty hello, and he goes, "Aye, good morning, my ass," because he's Rance Bottom.
He kind of nods and smirks and rolls his eyes like, that was funny like the first couple times. Yeah, hey, Rance, how are you? How was you had a couple of days off. How was that?
Rum-filled and very good. Say, Asha is sending me on one of her hush-hush top secret missions. I need me a cart and a horse.
Cart. Let's see. All right. Just one horse?
Just the one.
All right.
Doesn't need to be a big cart.
When will you need these?
Later this afternoon or this evening, if you can do it.
I should have a... you need a draft horse or more of a riding?
A draft horse. So on to pull a cart.
Yes. Very well. I should be able to arrange that for you. Say after work this afternoon, maybe you could take the cart and horse. Would that be soon enough?
That'd be fine.
All right. Cart, horse, after work. Very well. Secret mission again, huh? And he kind of chuckles and rolls his eyes.
Aye. He just puts his hands in the air. I just do what I'm told.
Aye. As do I, sir. Sorrow's Tale, thanks for those bits, brother. Good to see you, man. Hope all's well. Okay, so you've arranged for a cart and horse with Saul Ransbottom. He's scruffy, he keeps a pretty long, red, scraggly beard. But he keeps his hair on top of his head short, which is odd. Maybe because there's not a lot of it. And he goes back to doing whatever it is stable masters do early in the day.
Rance will he'll head back to the to Glink and do whatever the assigned task he's set to for the day.
Right. Yeah, he assigns you to unload. There's a couple of wagons that you've never seen before. Sometimes you see, there are shipping companies who brings provisions, supplies, they transport things as, teamsters, contract transporters. But there's a couple of wagons you've not seen before that are parked beside the stables. Near the back, there's a large, sort of like those slidey barn door that hang on the outside of the building that give big access into the back end of the building. One side is open, and you see crates of various things, stacked in the wagons. And he's like, "Why don't you help unload those?" And there's two of the loaders, a couple of young human fellows from there in Dagger Falls that you're acquainted with, that look to be about ready to start unloading these couple of wagons into the back of the winding trail.
Yeah, he'll get to work.
Okay. You see the symbol, and it's and you've recognized this. You've been around the region, but it's the Elvish rune for Mithranor, which is in the woods of Cormanthor, southeast of Dagger Falls. So you would guess either these carts have come through Shadowdale and up the road past Spiderhaunt Woods through Tiverton Scar and up into Dagger Falls that way, or they've come around the shorter way through Hillsfar, through Ulash, past the ruins of Zental Keep, through Teshwave, Sorrow's Tale. Yeah. Advantage for all the players and the DM. I'll just jot that down quickly. That's 20 advantages now for the DM. That is outstanding. Let's just have combat right now. Just kidding. And it just, Mithranor, fine crafts, possibly some magical items, elvish, wine, various elvish type of foodstuffs, cloth, things of that nature is what usually comes from that neck of the woods. You know what? I'll tell you what, Sorrow's Tale. If you wish for that advantage to be a DM disadvantage, I will mark that on my sheet, and the party can tell me when they want me to use it. Let's just go ahead and add that wrinkle. So 19 advantages. Yes, please. Thanks, buddy. I'll remember that. And DM disadvantage. I'll have to change that command. I think that's fair. Don't you think that's fair?
See, my idea's catching on. I said this before we started.
DM disadvantage. Okay, that's one. I have one disadvantage. Thank you, Sorrow's Tale, for contributing to the evolution of our stream. So Rance, you and the younger two human boys, and by boys, 15, 16 seasons. It's hot. They're already down to their woolen breeches and suspenders. It's humid as shit out. The wagons themselves are covered over with some framing and some kind of canvas material, as is customary, just to hide the contents of what's inside. And you've probably got a couple hours of unloading. They're large wagons, and they are Tetris stacked with like they're the inside of UPS trucks, man.
Rance will already have his shirt off because that's what he's used to, and anybody looking might be able to see a scar or two here or there.
Ooh, and Cubit has given you advantage, Rance, for the nickname of Rant's bottom. Yes, very nicely done. Nice. Okay, so you begin to do your work with the young whippersnappers. Viz, let's cut over to you. You saw Rance walk all the way across the south. You know, the building faces south. It sits on the north side of the road, faces south, faces the river. And you saw him walk right across the south face and up the east side and disappear to the back. What will you do as he does that, Viz?
I'd be following at a discreet distance, being very quiet and unobtrusive, following through that area to see if there's a way into the winding trail, to see if there's any way to get into any offices or records or other things that need snooping around in.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
As I'm moving through the space, sort of on my guard, but also anything I pass by that looks like it can be moved subtly to become in a more precarious position, like a glass too near the edge of the table or something, he'll just do these things as he goes along, just almost as if it's second instinct and natural, just to put things a little too close to peril, a little bit here, a little bit there, just as he moves through, trying to be subtle and quiet, but also just being a little mischievous and trying to create some chaos in other places that might use to his advantage later on.
So you're just basically setting up the inside of... Are you inside the...
I'm looking for a way in, and as I move in through the establishments,
okay,
to try and find the secret areas or whatever.
Oh, sure,
it is
sure.
that he,
Yeah, so it's a 2-story building. It's kind of salt boxy, like many of the structures here. They're wooden frame with some stone foundation, big steps up the front, door, glass panel. But there's also windows upstairs which are thrown open in the absence of air conditioning, hoping to catch a breeze off the river perhaps. But it is just dead humid right now. But you could easily pop in one of those windows.
and we'll do so.
Yeah. So upstairs you find rather Spartan living arrangements. You've flown into a front room that looks to be maybe a sitting room that would also double as a dining space, which is open to what looks to be a typical, very simple kitchen. There's a wash basin and an area for preparing and cutting and stuff, like a counter. There's some storage cabinets. There's a table in the kitchen. There's also a small table to sit and eat. And then there's chairs positioned toward the windows to presumably sit and look out. You see a fairly beautifully carved wooden stand that contains a stone bowl, and in it appear to be ashes. There's a nice wooden pipe that's laying across one side of the stone bowl. And it just looks like a pretty Spartan living arrangement. There is a side room that has a bed with a pallet, sleeping arrangement type situation. There are some clothes hanging in a corner of the room in a sort of a makeshift closet, but everything is very tidy, arranged, clean, and very, I can't emphasize Spartan enough. There's a footlocker at the base of the bed. There's a wash basin for, washing. And it's just kind of these two rooms on this side of the upstairs so far that you've seen.
Okay. Well, I'll keep moving on. Make a note of where the footlocker is and ignore it for now. As I say, as I'm moving along, if there's anything that can be put in near peril, do so. So like that pipe, maybe move it off a little bit off the edge so it's too close to the edge of the table. If there's any interesting trinkets that might need to be removed, he'll do that. Probably put them someplace else as he goes.
Oh, sure.
And just trying to make the way through, but also creating a little
maze of danger.
Little trouble as he goes.
Little trickster. You wouldn't be Faye, would you?
Oh, heaven forbid.
No, of course not. That's ludicrous. Okay, so basically what you've entered here is an apartment for all intents and purposes. Whoops. Out of the side of the kitchen is a door. It's closed. And that's, the whole space of these two rooms takes up this, what appears to be maybe this half of the upstairs,
Right.
give or take. Ish.
Okay. The door, is it, are there any spaces or gaps around the door?
It's just a wooden door and a frame.
Closed,
Ordinary, what you'd
obviously.
expect for the construction of these types of places.
Right. Now, do I recall if there would be a window into that room, and was it open?
There
Is
was
there
also a
something-
window into the other. There's like two windows into one side and two windows into another.
All right. He'll take a quick look around and then see if you can see under the crack under the door or something like that.
Yeah, there's light coming from it, so the door goes somewhere.
Yeah. Is anyone in there moving around or anything?
You don't see anything. You can roll perception if you wish. If you wish to listen at the door.
I do wish. Perception. Not deception, perception. Where are we here? That's 13.
13. Yeah, so you see light, but you don't see any sign of movement. You don't hear any sign of movement.
All right.
Seems silent enough.
So take flight again up toward the ceiling, back toward the window, and then go back around to see if you can get into the windows of this room from the outside.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's not a problem. Everything's open. Windows are open. Clearly trying to catch some kind of break from the humidity, warmth.
Yeah. And again, enter in, looking for things to muss around with, also looking for anything that might be like paper or documents or anything like that.
Sure, you've entered an office essentially, and it's a big space. Looks like there's the maybe the sharpening and the repair of several blades of various sizes, long sword, short sword, some daggers. Very clean, nice. Everything's laid out on this work table. It's a big work table with various weaponsmithing type tools. But this looks like it's not the kind of workshop where the work would be forging or constructing the tools, more like repair and maintenance, polish, cleaning. There's some oils, some cloths, various scabbards, and again maybe half a dozen blades and a maybe some plates of from a suit of armor, that sort of stuff. And then there's this is all one big open space with a couple of different work tables, some areas for tools, some storage, and there is a desk, like a writing desk with papers and such on it.
Okay. Well, flit over the table, see if there's any important bits on the table that would be well removed from the table, like whetstones or any rivets or anything that might be important to putting hilts back on, that sort of thing.
Oh, there's all manner of little, sword bits, whetstones, all kind of things on the work table that you could mess with. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get some unawares person killed in here if you set things up that, if you really wanted to be a scamp.
I'll do a bit of that, not enough to quite kill anyone, but maybe injure someone if they miss it. But not spending too much time on that. Making my way over to the desk again, just sort of flying high, low, around,
Sure.
Making sure no one's watching, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it is seemingly unoccupied. You see the other side of the door you were listening at, and it is closed as well. Or it is closed, I guess that is what I should be saying. Duh. On the desk, you see stacks of papers, and by stacks, not huge. But some papers here and there. Quill, inkwell, a few stacks of parchment, maybe for contracts. Some blank, like shipping type contracts. There's bills of lading, things of that nature.
Right.
All what you would expect to see in a business like this.
All probably apparently on the up and up. You'll spend a little time leafing through those and think better and look for maybe any hidden spaces or anything like that where super secret stuff might get stored.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so you're going to inspect the desk carefully. Give me a... there are a couple of drawers on the front. Give me an investigation.
Investigation. There we go. That's a net. 20 plus 1 is 21.
21, yeah. So there is a locked drawer. There's also an unlocked drawer. As you look at the desk, the one on the left side is unlocked. The one on the right side is locked.
Okay. Look around. Side eye the door. Pull out the lock picks. Rub my hands together. And go to work on the lock.
Okay. Roll me your sleight of hand.
Yep.
Did we establish that you have expertise or only proficiency with thieves' tools?
I have proficiency. Expertise is the realm of rogues, and I am
Roger
not
that.
a rogue.
Okay.
I do, however, have advantage courtesy of my class for some reason. 16 plus 8 is 24.
Once again, you manage to unlock the lock with your picks. What do you do?
Pick your friends, you can pick your locks, but you can't pick your friends' locks. This will hook the lock a bit with just the tip of his rapier and start pulling the drawer open carefully.
Sure. So you pull the drawer open carefully. It slides open as if on well-oiled slides. And in it you see a metal box. And this is the kind of drawer that's kind of deep. Both of these drawers have like a simple metal pull, but they're probably about 18 inches deep. And the one drawer, if you open the unlocked drawer, it's got blank paper and just various mundane nonsense, maybe extra quills, clips for binding papers together, things of that nature. But this one has a metal box in the bottom of it.
Okay, is the metal box locked?
Would you care to investigate it?
Yes, I would. That would be an investigation, I take it.
That would be an investigation.
19 plus 1 for a dirty 20.
Okay. The box is not locked. A couple of latches. You'd have to take the box out of the drawer because it fits down in there pretty tidy, and it's you can't really get at the front of it or anything.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. This is where being an 18-inch tall character may be a disadvantage. So I'll try to get the box into the drawer.
Okay. Describe for me how you will attempt to do this.
Is there a handle on it?
Yes.
I will attempt to pull it up mightily by the handle.
Okay. So I'm just picturing this 18-inch tall person. Are you... So you're going to, reach down in there somehow? Because this drawer is about as tall as you are.
Well, I was going to say, I'll fly into the drawer, making sure no one's around to slam it shut on me first.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the room is empty.
The
door is still closed.
As there's an unseen servant who just closes drawers at random. And just fly in and start pulling it out.
Okay. What's your strength?
My strength is 16.
Okay. Roll me a strength roll, please. And it's a little weird because you're flying. So it's kind of hard for you to... You don't have any lever, fulcrum. It's a heavy box.
It's 18 plus 3 is 21.
Okay. So your problem is just flying. You can't seem to generate like sufficient lift with your wings. The box kind of slides a little bit, but it feels like it's too heavy to just like lift, with just your wings flapping. Try as you might. It's just too heavy.
That's annoying. And you say I can't open it in the drawer?
Yeah, you can't get at the latches. It fits down in there fair. It's not like a snug, tight puzzle piece fit, but you can get your hand around each end to see like there's probably some latches, but the box wouldn't be able to be unlatched because there's no clearance for the latch mechanism to open fully. Okay. And you can feel that there are hinges along one side and latches on the front, but you'll be darned if you can't get the darn thing out.
Are there exposed beams in the ceiling?
Oh, yeah. Typical for the buildings of this construction, not unlike the Teshford.
Okay.
Big exposed beams.
I'm going to see if I can do this. Because I know a bit about the physics and mechanics that could go into this, but Viz may not. Viz is going to take his silk rope, and tie a loop tightly around the handle of the box.
Okay.
Lie the rope up over one of the beams, and bring it back down and see if he can get a combination of weights and force of pulling, even putting his feet on the bottom of the desk and pulling from there with all his might to try and get some leverage.
Okay.
Over that way.
Yeah, so you've basically just created a simple pulley.
Yeah.
Little block and tackle, except no circular, but you've looped the rope, and by the, I don't remember all of the physics of all of that, but I know you divide or you multiply the force by 2 for every time you cut the rope in half and all that other bullshit. Anyway, roll me strength again. Now you're propping yourself, you've got your rope, it's over a beam. I'm picturing you like kind of your little tongue is sticking out of your little mouth.
Absolutely. Concentration, furrowed brow, it's a 22.
22. Okay, so you manage to begin to pull and heave and, lunge your legs out. And I think Ranger Harley may have given you advantage. And you start to get the box to lift out. Right. And it's very slowly hand over hand.
Just going to say we could throw one of those +2s on top of that if we need to.
Now you're good. You're sweating, you're flapping even though your feet are propped. Like, I don't even want to leave the ground, but somehow if I flap, it'll be better.
Yeah.
Sweat absolutely. On your brow, and you begin to lift the box, and it comes, I'm picturing the rope hand over hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so the box is now above the drawer.
Cool. I wanted to get it up to table level. Is that possible?
Sure. I mean, you've strung a rope all the way to the rafters. Yeah, you can keep pulling. And hey, we've been raided. Thank you, Lawful Stupid RPG, for that raid. Very, very nice to have you here. Welcome to our little show. We're playing D&D in the Forgotten Realms. So you can raise the strong box, very clearly a metal strong box, probably a foot tall, probably a good 16 inches front to back, maybe 10 inches wide, or side to side, 16 inches, 10 inches front to back, latches to hinges. And it is now kind of barely swinging above the level of the desk. And you're just holding on for dear life.
So for dear life, I'm going to try to tie the rope around the leg of the table and push the box onto the desk so I can get some more leverage and get the lid open. possibly with a slip knot so that I could let the rope go slack once I get it over the desk. And pad the landing with the papers that are already there.
Okay. So you're like swinging the. First
Yep.
of all, give me a sleight of hand to get that rope tied. And I'm picturing like you're trying to keep tension on the rope so the box doesn't drop back into the drawer. Doing this quietly. This is almost comical. This little fairy rune knight, trying to keep to keep the thing elevated enough, feet
Yep.
propped, and then somehow figure out how the heck to. Where are you going to tie this rope off exactly?
Well, it's one of the legs of the table.
Okay.
I just hope to God that the table weighs more than the box. Otherwise, this is going to get really funny.
Oh, I would say it's a wooden desk. It's got 2 decent drawers in here. Yeah.
It could be a cheap IKEA pine desk. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it looks like a beefy, decent enough. It's not fancy by any stretch, but yeah. Okay, so
All
give
right.
me that roll for sleight of hand to get that rope tied around a leg and keep the.
So I did that. I rolled with my advantage, and I rolled a 20 and a 13 plus 8 is 28 total.
28 total. Okay, I gave you a DC of 22 because I'm just picturing this 18-inch dude, a heavy box, some swinging, some trying to be quiet, all of that. And I felt like that would be a difficult task, but you crushed it with a 28. So you get your rope tied around the leg of the table. And so now what you have is this box that's basically right in front of the edge of the table, right above the drawer, tethered to a rope that's slung over the beam. Thank you for the follows. Appreciate that. What now?
Now we open the box.
Okay. So how are you going to get it on the table?
Well, that was the the idea was swing it over the table, have the knot that's tied to the leg, keeping it in the air on a slip knot, so that he could bring it over above the table, let the rope go to bring it down to the table, have it land on the table on the papers.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you're going to get this thing rocking, and then when it's over the desk, you're going to pull the slip knot, and it's going to drop on the desk.
Probably,
Is that what you're
that's
describing?
the plan.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's do a dexterity roll.
All right.
You may use your dex bonus
Yep.
on your die roll. And I'm going to give you a DC of 15 because I think timing could be a little critical.
Absolutely. So that's a 14 plus 5 is 19.
Okay. Yeah, so you managed to get about 80% of the box onto the desk. It's a little cattywampus. Maybe 20% of the end of the box is over the drawer, but a sufficient amount of this box has landed on the desk. And now it is on the desk.
And now we open it.
Yes, and the rope is dangling. It is still, it's enough rope and enough height that it didn't get pulled over the beam. You may open the box.
Do so. Is
You-
it locked?
You open the box, and it is not locked. The box is full of coin,
That's why it was so heavy.
like wrapped stacks of coin that are labeled in 20s. So like 20 coin stacks. Many of them are gold. Some of them are platinum.
Okay. But nothing interesting. No paper or anything like
There
that.
is some paper. It's rolled up in a scroll tube. I mean, I assume there's paper in there. It could be a bomb. You don't know. But there is a scroll tube, just a simple, nothing ornate, nothing fancy. It's not even sealed.
I'll reach in and grab it, see what it says.
Okay. Yeah, so you open the scroll tube, makes that funny little thunk when you pull the one end off the other. And there is a piece of paper in there. You unroll it, and it's essentially a get out of jail free card or a free pass but the grantor of the freedom is someone named Jamna Gleamsilver. Like, present this letter to any Zentarum agent, and the bearer of this notice would be given free pass, and not any, not to be trifled with, that sort of a thing. Sort of like a get out of Zentarum jail free card, and it's signed Jamna Gleamsilver. And underneath her signature is the word Ardragon, Ardragon.
Okay. Interesting. To take or not to take.
Yes, and while you decide, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. As your faithful DM, as Rance is downstairs unloading and sweating in the dusky, humid summer morning of dampness, the party is off gathering crates and various other caravan sundry gear while Viz contemplates his circumstance. I will hit the pause button for tonight, and I'll give you a week to decide what it is you're going to do with your strongbox of coin and your Zentarum get out of free card. It's basically just a paper, almost like a pronouncement. Seems like maybe even it's a form letter type, like boilerplate type thing. It's not all written in the same script as what's signed, and the ink is different colors, so it looks like a form. Maybe a bit of a boon, or a treat this bearer of this certificate with all the hospitality and goodwill you would treat a member of the Black Network, that sort of thing. And it's signed Jamna Gleamsilver.
There's no name indicating like who the bearer is.
No. And that, my friends,
Is where we're landing.
is where we're landing for the night. So picture Viz, right, stooped over this box. It's tethered over the beam full of coin, the scroll, the letter, drawers open, windows open. And that's where we'll end. Woo!
Did you pass go and collect $200?
No, that's a different game. Yeah, totally different game.
Oh, didn't even entertain
It hasn't taken the money yet, so
Yes.
we don't know.
Yeah,
what
and
the
there are
next.
a number of those stacks. There's probably a dozen or more stacks of gold and probably a half dozen stacks of platinum, and they're all labeled
Wow,
20. So that's why the box is so damn heavy.
big money.
Because it's packed with coin. And that's where we're going to leave. So let's go around the table and outroduce ourselves. Just tell us again your character, maybe class and race, and then where on Earth, where in the internets can people see you doing your thing? And let's start again with our ladies. Wisteria, give us a little outro.
Yeah, so I'm Sydney, and I play Wisteria, who's a Hexblood Circle of Spores Druid, and you can really just find me on Twitter at Queen Squid. So yeah, that's me.
Yay! All right, good. Ronvin.
Hi, I'm Veshero Vivi. I play Runvin. Runvin is an artificer, armorer. She is an Asimar, which she's still coming to grips with. Else, you can find me on Twitch as Vivesha. On Twitch, you can find me Mondays here, playing with all my lovelies. We have played for quite some time yet, and it was so much fun. On Wednesdays, I'm on Mr. Hooper's channel in the Imaginarium, where we're playing Ultramodern 5, which is basically 5e, but in the future, where I'm playing Lily, a chaos child with a big gun. Yes, that's what's happening. And then October 29th, I'll be on a charity stream, which we're doing on the Games Tavern, where we're raising money for veterans. And for right now, I'm playing in Flabbergasted, which is like kickstarting right now, and it's like a fun-filled 1920s social club-based RPG, which I'm really hoping is going to happen because shenanigans. Rants. And on Twitter, you can find me as Mr. Vivacia, MRS Vivacia, and that's about it.
MRS Vivacia. Very, very nice. Excellent, Ronvin. All right, Rue Shahar, where can we find you, Mr. Fellowship, sir?
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, also known as Fellowship of the Tables, here on Twitch. On Twitter, I'm Fellowship OTT, because character, length, name, and other than that, you can pretty much just find me around the Discord.
Excellent. Very good. Rants.
Hey, I'm Matthew. I play Rance Rumblood, the human rogue swashbuckler, reformed pirate type guy. You can find me hanging out with the DM on Greycast, our podcast about Greyhawk, the world of Greyhawk. You can follow me on Twitter, PR Mateus, and bouncing around various Discords and such.
Excellent. Nice. Fix. What's going on, Preston?
Hi, I'm Preston, or Dice Fix on the internet. My character's name is Fix, and he's definitely not a changeling. You can find me on mainly Twitter. It's my primary source of where I interact with people. And then Discords, I'm in a lot of those, but I don't really do anything in any of them. But I'm here on Mondays.
Very good.
Beautiful dice.
Very good. And a purveyor and maker of beautiful dice. And last but certainly not least, Viz. Oops, I think Viz had to bail. Dave is the person who plays Viz. Oh, yeah, there's some of Preston's dice right there with Rue. Dave also plays in our Wednesday game, which is a nice segue. We do play D&D again on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And there might be other things percolating for other D&D in the future for the Wily Hobbit network of gaming channels, which currently only has one channel, but I like to think of it as a network. Anyway, so yeah, you can see Dave here also on Wednesdays at 7 in our Dragon of Icespire Peak game, another Forgotten Realms 5th edition game. So hey, there's Viz. I was just giving your outro for you there, Dave.
Oh, sorry. I
You're
just
okay.
had a little lifetime thing. Yeah, so hi, I'm Dave. I play Viz, the fairy rune knight fighter. I'm sure Wiley just mentioned that you can find me here on Mondays at 7:30, but also on Wednesdays at 7 playing Dragon of Icefire Peak. Icefire, not Icefire. Where I play Jacob, the trickster halfling cleric. And
Nice.
I'm Hey Wilson on the social medias.
Nice. All right, so, and again, I'm Scott, but everybody in my little Hobbit Hole community on Discord knows me as Wily Hobbit. And, of course, this here would be the Wily Hobbit channel. Thanks for that follow. Sure appreciate that. It was very nice to be raided tonight by Lawful Stupid. For those of you who don't know Lawful Stupid, they stream some really great D&D, usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday evenings. I think Sunday might be in the afternoon. And they're in Greyhawk, and they're in all kind of places. But they are a cool bunch, and a really great bit of gaming happens over there, so give them a follow if you didn't just raid from there, but check them out, and thanks for raiding and hanging out. And speaking of raids, I want us to go raid one of my most favorite people on the entire internet. She has a stream called Laugh Love Lindy, and they're playing D&D over there, and she is an absolute treasure, a global treasure, not just a national treasure. So make sure you go in there and scream and shout, and we will see you here Wednesday night and back again on Monday. Take care, be safe, and gosh, be nice. Please be nice.